Hey everyone, let us look at an article by vrteachers.com. And here, teachers, they're not just complaining that smartphones have become a distraction in class, teachers are actually sounding the alarm. So, dear parents, books aren't the enemy, smartphones are. Young people are telling us they are in crisis. So, let us look at this. There are many, many good points. I just want to highlight all of them. Um, Here what are teachers saying? They are giving us with examples. Second grade students making sexual noises in class because it is part of a TikTok trend. Personally, I have kids in my class who have TikTok and who keep showing me some funny things that they see that are being posted on TikTok, but they always keep begging me that I cannot tell their parents that they have TikTok. It is a very tricky situation for me, especially when they say that their parents are not aware of them having TikTok. I find out a way to say it in a roundabout way to parents that make sure they know what the children are doing on their devices, and it's up to parents to just follow through on whatever request I'm giving them. A third grader told his teacher about his secret friend. No one can know his name, who edits his YouTube videos for him. This is just stranger danger is so real, and people are just befriending strangers that they have never met, just because they sound so sweet and everything, and we don't know the ulterior motives of all these strangers. It's just a very dangerous place. 10-year-olds are choosing Andrew Tate for assignments on the person I admire most. I actually had a debate with a couple of teenagers about how Andrew Tate is just living his truth and he's just being his real raw self, and what's wrong with that. Uh, the debate from my side could go only so far because I just didn't have a whole lot of, you know, it was just surprising. A technology director for a K9 school says his devices report show that YouTube videos are being played by children on school devices until 4 a.m. So this is one thing that I have with schools. Why can't they restrict internet use after 10:30 p.m. or something? Why can't they just say that there will no longer be internet available on these devices? If the teenagers are being asked to put away the phones before the beginning of the class, it is resulting in extreme anxiety and even assault. So we recently saw this report on schools are seeing a surge in violence from students. What can be done? This is a real thing. Teachers are being threatened because kids are just so hopelessly addicted to their phones, and any chance that they will be disconnected from their phone is leading to anxiety. So, what is actually happening? Okay, so again, as I said at the beginning, we are not just saying that the children are distracted. Even I can see as an online teacher that some of my kids are just blanked out when I'm teaching them. So I know that they are on another tab or potentially watching their device without me able to see what they are doing. You can kind of clearly see when the kids are distracted. So it's just so sad. It seems we can no longer talk about smartphones and social media as just worrisome distractions. These are actual threats to children's well-being. So let us look at what is happening. Kids are literally addicted to what's happening on their screens. Of course, we all know that this dopamine rush that they have is indicating to the kid's brain that, hey, whatever is happening on the phone is very, very important. Everything else can wait, such as finishing the homework, helping clean up after dinner, or even playing outside with friends. Even for us adults, right? Our attention span has gone down so much, it's just ridiculous. So the second thing is, I beg my 15-year-old that there is no chance he can have his phone in the room. Of course, my 19-year-old, we have gone way past that. I'll be happy if he does not have his cell phone next to his head when he's sleeping. And that's how teenagers are, right? So I bought him a bed tray so that at least when he needs it for his alarm in the morning, it will be away from him, the 8 inches or whatever is required for low radiation from the phone. So this is having an effect. Okay, again, the suicide rate of girls and boys has begun rising since 2008. Feelings of loneliness, sadness have begun rising too. The amount of time teenagers are spending socializing. All those, we keep talking about the playgrounds, the pristine playgrounds in America where nobody comes out to play. Everybody is just so busy indoors. That's the reason why this generation is called the indoor generation. They're just comfortable in their own, with their own device, and they don't feel the need to socialize in the real world. And sleep has declined. The third thing is the actual content they're encountering is disturbing. Even as an adult, when I'm looking at Twitter, the next tweet can be some kind of a horrific scene that is playing out, some news media clipping or something, which I absolutely have no control over until I scroll to that point and make a conscious decision that I'm not going to look at it. That is the kind of content that we are being presented on the internet. So here, 46 to 60% of girls ages 11 to 15 who use social media have been contacted by a stranger that has made them feel uncomfortable. So again, Snapchat. With Snapchat, I can tell you based on experience, within seconds, sexualized content and vulgar images appeared. It slowly escalates to, the act of grooming, where an older stranger person can just get in touch with a child and start grooming them for sending them explicit pictures of them. It's just a cesspool of vulgar content here. Okay, so for all these things, we might be asking, hey, there are all these parental controls and monitoring apps, right? What is the school doing? What are the parents doing? It is not as easy as we think. Our tech savvy kids, again, remember what Margaret Mead said almost 100 years ago. This is the post figurative society we are living in. Our kids can figure out things much before than us. So our tech savvy kids know how to get around them. Okay, so look at this. They use various methods of going undetected. There is an app that is blocked. Videos cross-posted on other friendlier apps like Pinterest can be picked up. Again, they create Finstas, fake accounts, fake Instagrams, Finstas, to get around helping the parents understand what is going on, to get around what parents think that they are doing. Again, I search. So this author searched for how to get around school district filters and was met with over 1 billion results. The first of which was called How to Bypass a School Firewall. It is just amazing. One of my kids' classmate got in-school suspension because he actually downloaded the VPN on the school device. These kids know exactly how to do it, what to do, and it's just sad. So what can be done about it? I like this approach, no phone policies in school. In France, the kids cannot bring them into class. And this happened like 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, or even before the pandemic. I mean, what is such a big deal? Why is big tech driving the agenda for our kids in school? I just don't understand. It's very simple. I tell my child, hey, your brain can only do one thing at a time. Multitasking is a myth. So please, no phone distractions in class, right? So no phone policies. It's very easy to implement. But again, as you see, there is anxiety of getting separated from the phone that has to be dealt with. Reevaluate how we use district devices. I'm so happy that this is being mentioned here. Stop internet usage at a reasonable nighttime hour. What is the problem with implementing this? Do we really need to be sending Chromebooks with elementary school kids? Do they need it at home? And why are we relying so much on technology? There is absolutely no paper or pen that is being used in some of the classrooms, especially in middle and high schools. It's just, and you know what they say, right? Our hands, our communication system, which has evolved since we started coming out of the caveman generation, where we started communicating and writing and speaking and verbalizing our thoughts and everything, the connection that our notepad, the pen, and the brain, how this helps in long-term memory, this cannot be replaced by note taking on the phone or the device. So wait on giving kids phones as you can. Again, this is where the onus is on the parents. I am just so horrified. I remember so clearly, my son, my younger one, is in the 9th grade, and I remember asking him in 5th grade, This is before the pandemic. How many kids in his class had a cell phone? He did not have one. And he was one of the 3 kids out of 25 kids who did not have a phone, some kind of a personal phone, personal device in classroom. 20 plus, 22 kids had it. It is just horrifying to think that, how can you be not distracted, especially at such a young age, when you don't have control over your how the dopamine is spiking in your brain and telling you that this is the most important thing you should be doing right now. So so we have every ability to walk the situation back. The point is, it is just so exponentially changing every single day that we have to keep making very long strides in order for all these things to be successful, and at a very, very big scale. So time to think about it, parents and schools. Thank you so much.